Hello and welcome to Silicon Valley Innovation Center. My name is Rahim Rahimtullah. I'm SVIC's brand ambassador. My guest today is Dr. Robin Kira, founder of Digitalscouting.de and a leading thinker on fintech and insurtech. Robin, welcome.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I really appreciate it.
Great to have you with us. And Robin, you're going to be giving a webinar for SVIC on October 11th on how to digitize a traditional insurance business. And so tell us first, where is the insurance industry today on going digital first?
Well, I fear I need to disappoint a few people, because I fear that we don't see it too much. I only know rare examples where we have digital first or actually digital only. Well, you have insurtech companies that a lot of them go digital first. You have tech companies that are digital only in a lot of cases and that are to provide digital products and services for the insurance industry. I see aggregators, so especially in Europe, I know in the US they're coming right now. That means that you go to a website and you can compare different insurance products, but which is not a real comparison, but actually it's a platform where you bid for the ranking in a sort of way. They are some sort of digital first, but I've not seen a truly digital only or digital first product. And maybe also in the banking industry, you have some direct banks where you don't have branches anymore, but you just have the account. But to be honest, this is just digitalizing processes that have been around for hundreds of years. My big question, what I'm more asking for, what I'm expecting is like something truly new, something that relieves me of my pain as a customer, may it be in the banking space or may it be in the insurance space. And I've not seen that. And the contract managers we have seen, I mean, again, these guys that have founded these companies, big respect, kudos to them that they really did it and didn't, well, like the first wave of insurtech. But in the end, it's like inventing a dentist app. I mean, I have friends that are dentists, nice guys, but I'm not looking forward to the appointment at a dentist, especially if I have pain. So dentist apps probably won't work, insurance apps don't work. But why not a health app? Health apps are going like crazy in the app stores or websites and services. Why can't we invent something like that for finance and insurance?
And so where do you think, how far are we from seeing that? Do you think insurance companies are seeing that maybe just sort of digitalizing processes which have been going on for a long time, rather than really turning things around and presenting it in a very different package? Are they beginning to understand that?
Well, it's a radical different approach. So the old ways of selling insurance, at least in the market where I have some insights, and I've worked actually in the sales of insurance myself, so I really sat on the couches of the people and participated in this madness of traditional insurance. It's like you go there, sell insurance, and you hope you hear never from the customer again. Similar to banks, by the way, who actually almost never call the customer. Even though there might be some occasion to do that, large income situations or something like that. But the new way is to think every day about how could I provide the customer as much service, as much convenience as possible? How can I become the daily companion of the customer? How can I actually conquer the home screen of the cell phone, or soon, how can I conquer the voice-driven or commanded device? How can I conquer the algorithm of the person and to become partner of the customer in everyday life? It's totally different thinking of, I'm selling an insurance, I hope never hear of this person again. Totally different, radically different. And I've seen only very, very few smaller insurers actually slowly going into that direction to provide digital products and services the customer actually desire. But it's very early, very early. And the funny thing is, even insurtechs, of course, they have sometimes interesting digital products like sales funnels, sales channels, and sales processes. But I've not seen like an offer that really helps the customer there. I've seen one thing that's being developed in the Middle and Near East right now. That's promising, but it's not really released, so I cannot tell about it. But I think that could be something. for the future. Because, I mean, you guys sitting in the Silicon Valley and most successful companies over the last 20 years have solved problems and delivered value to the customer. And I think we need to really do that. But why I'm so passionate about it, I mean, actually, the insurance is not a topic that's famous, that there's so many passionate fans of it. I'm so passionate because I think the potential is gigantic. If insurers and banks would really share their knowledge, what they have about risk, about financial planning, retirement, let's talk about a life event like a birth of a child. Insurances know a lot about that. Insurance is actually baby experts. They have accident insurance, know what to not do with the baby. They have health insurance record to give tips how to increase the health of a child. They have like a million things they could provide to the customers. They don't. And my question is that we actually need to go there to provide this to the customer. But it's a radical different approach. And other industries do it already. In other industries it works. Google, for example, provides a lot of services for free, Google Maps and Android or whatever. And I just give away my data and my privacy. But I'll get a lot of stuff for that. So, you know, I never get lost anymore as long as I have coverage. And this mental thinking needs to be part of the insurance and the finance industry, in my opinion.
And what I understand, what I've been reading about insurance and making this move into being something a little bit different, a sort of a different partner perhaps in our lives, is that insurance could actually be more in the prevention business.
Yeah.
And as we're going to have things like Internet of Things, which is going to have a lot more sensors in our homes, in our cities, in our cars and elsewhere, there'll be all this data coming out of them, which insurance companies could use to sort of offer us a service, perhaps a bit like what we might call predictive maintenance, where they can tell us before something goes wrong that something is going to be wrong. They could then be our partner in solving that problem before it turns into an insurance claim. And do you feel like that sort of direction, moving towards prevention, is that something which insurance companies should be looking at?
I think it's tremendously, but why? Out of two reasons. First of all, it takes into account the idea of we deliver value to the customer. Wouldn't it be nice if as a private person or as a company, there's an insurance that has 40 big machines insured, and there are 80 in the world, and they have seen already certain damages at certain parts after certain hours of usage, 40,000 hours of usage, and we know this part is going to break. Why not inform the CEO or the CTO of that other company that has this and has 39,000 hours run the machine, and says, maybe you look at that before the thing blows up. I know this in very niche products in the marine area, for example, that there are these approaches already now, also since 10, 15 years. But it's not an approach that is in the center of the attention of people, and that's not a scale approach now. But IoT and Internet of Things, there are studies that say 2035 we will have over 1,000 connected devices, and even if it takes until 2040, it's gigantic. Why is it gigantic for the insurance industry? If an insurance or a risk carrier is able to calculate risk better than somebody else, he can give the product away cheaper and making the same money. Right now, all insurers are using almost the same methods. It's 100-year-old life insurance. It's like the mortality tables they are calculating with, claim statistics they are calculating with, but it's not a qualitative difference. You know, somebody's better, somebody's worse, but in the end, it's almost the same. But what happens actually if there's some AI-driven insurer tech company out there that's able to calculate risk and predict that better? That will have a tremendous effect. Why? Because most insurers are happy when they have a combined ratio of 98%, 95%. So you get $100, you spend $95, and you're happy because you have made $5. You're the hero of the day. And there's some actually they get $100 and paying $105. That's a good concept. But what if you are insurance and offering an insurance product and you're getting $100 and it costs you just 20? I mean, you can lower the price to 40, making still more profit than the rest and take the whole market. And to be honest, this is something so risky and so dramatic in that I, as a CEO of an insurance company, that would be my main focus, to find out that even maybe I become the company that lowers the combined ratio like that. That's a little bit insurance nerdy now. This is the insurance nerd part, but this is like this would be like this could be an Uber moment for the insurance industry if you have one insurance that is able to do that. And on the other hand, predictive analysis and predictive maintenance it can be in all parts of life, and it is like you need to provide the customer with digital products and services that help them. And this is a big potential for the insurance industry. And the insurance industry should ask themselves: do they want to become? You have the insurer here, you have the customer here. Do they want to become the endpoint to the customer? Or do they want to give Siemens and other tech companies that building, Samsung, the refrigerators and the heaters and the ovens, they become the person between customer and the rest of the value chain? And I have the feeling, if I look at Google and Amazon, especially, for example, Amazon, they were pushing between customer and the rest of the value chain. I'm not sure if there are too many happy people right now at the rest of the value chain, especially in the publisher industry.
And actually, speaking of Amazon, I did want to ask you about that. I know there are predictions, and I've heard them, read them. You may have mentioned this yourself at some point in the past, that Amazon, Google, they are looking at the insurance industry, and they obviously both have a very good record when it comes to disrupting markets. So do you think, is that going to happen? And is the question not should traditional insurers be worried, but how worried should they be?
Well, I've been for years advocating, or like at least a little bit predicting, even though I'm not in the prediction business, but I thought it was a quite good bet that Amazon was going to enter the insurance market. And I had actually suits of insurance laugh at me. They're saying they're a retail company, they're an e-commerce, they don't understand the business and all those typical arguments you had, and now they're there. With Google, it's a little bit different. The official position, I just talked to one here in Europe, also dealing with the insurance industry. The official position is they're the enabler, that they make a lot of money with selling ads to the insurance industry. And they are thinking about actually working on, and it's also official, on providing data infrastructure to insurers. So being like the enabler, that the people, that the insurances get all that data into the Google magic machine, and then they can do like interesting things. I'm not sure if the insurance industry will accept this offer, because if you give away the power over your customers, it's really easy then to switch them and to just take them over. I'm not sure if the insurance industry is already desperate like that. And I'm not sure if that's actually the end play of Google. Yes, you make a lot of money with the current industry, but they have also shown in other examples that they are doing some more radical switches and make actually more money with selling the product. And I have to be honest, when Google would decide actually to also offer insurance products and to calculate risk and really use their big data approach to do that, I think they have the potential to be the player that doesn't have the 98% combined ratio where they get $100 and make only $2. I think Google has the potential of getting $100 from the insurance customer and only spending 10, 15, 20 and making a lot of money there. Amazon, again, we have the example of Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan, and Amazon founding a health insurer in the US, which I think it's not the easiest market, I heard, for insurance, especially in the healthcare sector. They just bought, I think, an Indian Insurtech for quite some money, and it's like a half open secret that they opened an office in London, are hiring like crazy insurance professionals, and to combine insurance professionals with tech talent and the experience of Amazon is gigantic. I think they will slowly try out that to have insurances and insurances, so that you can your checkout process have then can buy something. But this baby steps, I think they could take on large parts of the insurance market because people are convenient. Why can I not buy? I get in the news of my insurance, the premium goes up. I'm on my couch. I want to go to Amazon and I want to get a liability insurance there. I want to get a car insurance there. I want to get everything there because I have made already I don't even want to know how many products I bought there. So maybe I'm not the best customer of Amazon, but pretty close probably. So I've made so many good experiences, in contrast, by the way, to insurers who have, just a study came out here in Europe. Insurance is one of the most less respected industries and less respected jobs and less trusted industries. And that's a gigantic danger. I mean, if you have tech companies everybody loves, or a lot of people love and trust, Amazon more than Google, and you have an industry with the lowest image possible, and that's very dangerous. Then people are more eager to switch to the other partner if they trust them anyway with anything else.
And it sounds like there's a lot, sort of like the situation is like well poised there. I mean, Amazon and Google already have potentially a lot of advantages, and it's sort of sounds like it's a matter of time before they decide to take advantage, to switch those on and maybe go into insurance. But I wanted to double back slightly on ourselves, if I could. I just want to ask about the impact of these emerging technologies. I feel like we were saying that with IoT and so on, this could be a great thing for insurers if they take advantage of it. But another piece of analysis which is out there, which says it's pushing them towards maybe looking into being in this prevention role, is that emerging technologies are actually going to produce a situation where we have less risk in our lives. Autonomous vehicles are going to be safer. We're going to live longer and better and healthier lives because of improvements in healthcare. Similarly, smart cities, our homes, with the IoT, it's going to be safer, and there's going to be less things to insure. What are your thoughts on that? Is it something that insurance companies do need to be aware of?
Well, I love the idea that we are going to live longer, and I have actually only one big desire in my life. This is that I want to see my favorite soccer team win one more time the German national championship, which is quite hard because they're really bad. So I need to become 150 to see that, I think. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not sure. On the one hand, I have the impression that we totally overestimate not the impact on life, but the reduction of risks. On the other side, I think we totally underestimate what is going to happen 5 or 10 years. I think we will look in 5 or 10 years at this conversation and say, oh man, these guys didn't have a clue that the light at the end of the tunnel was not the end, but actually a freight train coming. And I think we will be a little bit smiling probably about this conversation. So I'm torn when it comes to that. I think we will see in certain areas a lot of prediction and reduction of risk, also the combined, like the reduction of claims we will see. I really hope this, by the way, because claims the worst case scenario of actually for an individual. So we will hopefully we will see this. But on the other hand, systems will become more complex. I think there are a lot of new risks coming. So what is going to happen if somebody hacks my 1,000 sensors? And I think there will be new risks coming. So you have old risks and risks that are going down, but you will also have risks that are new and that also need to be dealt with. If the sum is in the end positive or negative, I don't know. I just know it's very exciting. And again, I need to reach 150.
Well, maybe it'll happen. What do you think? But you say about new risks, actually, that's quite an interesting area, I think. How prepared do you see the insurance industry at the moment for all this, new data, which is going to be coming out of all our smart machines? That's going to have to be protected. Security threats could be there. On social media these days, brands are very exposed. There's lots of reputational risks out there. It's very hard to control the message once it gets out onto social media. How do you feel like the insurance industry is coping with all these new threats and risks which are emerging, really?
Maybe one point about controlling the message. I personally think it's dead. I think it's gone. It's like a ship that has long sailed. It's like halfway through you guys. It's gone. It will never come back. You will never be able to only with very severe efforts to suppress something. And why should you do it? I mean, do we really expect nowadays that a company is perfect? I mean, it's made out of humans. So we do mistakes. I do mistakes all my day. Ask my wife. She will have probably a long list of it. And companies will do it too. And I also do in my job. And so it's totally unusual. But right now we live in a phase of transition. back in the days, companies needed to be perfect, or at least have the image. And in the future, it will be totally normal because it's a no-brainer, you know, humans do mistakes. But right now we are in a transition phase. We still have the expectations that it should be still perfect, but we're not. So that's the situation and the problem. But I think that the internet killed this idea of control. Yes, I think we need also to be very careful when we see and read something and not just believe it, but I think we should have done it before the internet too. You said if insurers are ready. I always compare the insurance industry with a sport. What is your favorite sport?
Maybe football, tennis, perhaps.
Football. Okay, let's say football. So in football, as I understand it a little bit, at least, American football. Is it American or like a soccer football?
Well, soccer, I'd say. Yeah.
Oh, really? Which nation?
Well, I mean, I support Arsenal in the Premier League.
Okay. Great,
yeah.
Premier League, great. I think the insurance industry is like a Premier League. Why? Because you have the big teams that will always be on top. Then you have the positive surprises, like a few years ago when I think Stoke City won the title. It's like you're like, oh, what are they doing? And you see they have a perfect coach, they have a hungry team, they have hungry players, they have a good staff, they have whatever. It's like a magic mixture. I'm hoping for my team, by the way, that it happens in the next 100 years and on. So that's that. You will have these positive surprises also in the insurance industry. Small players, I know like at least 3, 4, 5 in this region that are doing a very good job, that are not outgoing yet, but they're doing actually a good job, and we will hear of them, I'm pretty sure. And I think I also know in the US a few players that are doing a good job. But you also have the negative surprises, the 4 giants that are going to fall, as you have also had in other countries in the soccer leagues. Companies going broke or clubs going broke that did not do their job, and this is capitalism, baby. So it will be like that. Yeah, so I think the industry is not seen as a total to be prepared by that. Parts will make it, parts will not make it. I mean, if I go to an insurer and I have a lot of behind the scenes talks, and I go there into the canteen at dinner time, at lunchtime, and I have the impression that I'm at a retirement home and the people are only talking about their free time and all of that. And I see like memes making fun about their own company. I'm like, oh, this is critical. And then you look at the data and the projects and then you're not surprised anymore. And those will have difficult times to adapt all of it, I think.
Well, Robin, it sounds like there's a lot of room for improvement and a lot of big changes which could be on the horizon. We could probably go on, but we'll probably have to wrap up now, I'm afraid. We're almost out of time. So just as a final thought then, if I had to put you on the spot, then what is the one thing, given all we've said and all that could change and is changing, but what is the one thing today that a traditional insurer could do to prevent themselves from being disrupted?
Fall in love with your customer, not with your product. Not with your company, not with the structures. Fall in love with the customer, do everything for him or her, and do that. And that's the main thing that you need to do. This is like meta level, but on the lower level, everything follows them. Only because you have structures and they have always been around, it's no reason, it's no argument why they should be there. And if you don't become a tech company yourself and become a customer-oriented company like them, I think winter is coming for you.
Thank you, Robin. That's a hopeful message, but also a slightly pessimistic one too. If you're an insurer, but I think plenty of opportunities as well there behind the threats. So
maybe one last thing in order to say, so this is the negative view, but if you do your homework, we're not talking about 1%, 2% profit a year, we're talking about 20, 30, 35. So the opportunities, if you do your job, are endless, especially when you're a smaller insurer, smaller carrier. You can conquer the world nowadays with the technology. It's not like that you need billions for that. You can do it with a less budget. You can beat them when you're better. And this is the big opportunity for you guys out there. So that's a positive spin. Sorry.
Well, that's always good. We'd always like to end on a positive note. Yeah. So, Robin, thank you very much for joining us today. And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Remember, Robin is going to be back with us here at SVIC on October 11th. He's going to be giving us a webinar 9 a.m. Pacific on the 11th of October. So do mark that in your calendar. He'll be able to go into more detail then about how to digitize a traditional insurance business. You'll see a link to register for that webinar appearing on your screen now in the chat box. And so that's where we'll wrap up today. So from me, from my guest today, Dr. Robin Kira, thank you for watching us today, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.